Hello, my name is Stephen Kahn, and I'm running as a candidate for the PC nomination for the constituency of St. Albert. I'm a proud product of St. Albert, and I attended elementary, junior high, and senior high in St. Albert. I feel blessed to have grown up in St. Albert in the 70s and the 80s, and my education within the community and at St. Albert schools has prepared me for the challenges of university and the challenges of raising a young family. I mention this because I feel that I inhabit the values and the ethic of St. Albert. Or rather, the values and the ethics that St. Albertans hold dear. I grew up in St. Albert at a time when St. Albert was a smaller town, as I see many people here did as well. A time when hard work, honesty, integrity, and neighborly compassion were commonplace attributes that almost all St. Albertans shared. I still believe in these attributes, these values, and I believe that even though St. Albert has undeniably changed over the years, these values survive. With all of the blessings that we hold dear in St. Albert, our beautiful river valley, our attractive and safe neighborhoods, our dynamic arts community, our amazing recreation facilities, I believe that it is these common values that make St. Albert a special place. During the past PC leadership, Doug Horner spent a good deal of time talking about the PC party. He talked about the PC party returning to its roots, returning to its values, the values that made the party and have made the party such a unique force in Albertan and Canadian politics. Those values, honesty, integrity, hard work, compassion, those are St. Albert values. I want to take this opportunity to let people know that everything I do in the community as your representative will be guided by these values, St. Albert's values. I want to take a moment to talk about my background and what I believe makes me unique as a candidate for the PC nomination here in St. Albert. I am a businessman. For over 20 years, I had the privilege and responsibility of owning and operating Management Information Group. MIG is a software development company which develops, markets, and supports student record software. For those in the crowd not tech nerds, what that means in English is that we built, sold, and supported software that schools and school boards operate their daily business. When I started with the company, MIG was a small regional business with 8 employees. During my 22 years with the company, we were able to grow the business into a North American and international presence, with thousands of clients across Canada, the United States, and Europe. As a proprietor and general manager of the company, I was able to set a course for our company's growth by having a clear vision for our products and their position in the marketplace. Working in the software industry has taught me how to collaborate with clients and employees to achieve mutual goals. I understand the value of hard work and the responsibility of delivering on milestones that are set as commitments. The enterprise of business, particularly the software business industry, it's a dynamic world. To be successful, one must constantly be moving forward, always planning for and anticipating challenges. As your representative for St. Albert, I will take my constructive and proactive business approach to all that I do. So why? That's the question. Through the course of the nomination process, many people have asked me, why are you seeking the nomination? Well, I could tell you that Alison Redford asked me to consider seeking the nomination, which is a true story, but that's not my reason. The reason I'm seeking the nomination is because I feel compelled that it is my time. My time to give back to a community that has blessed me with so much. My time to ensure that St. Albert has a strong voice at the table, in caucus and at the legislature. My time to encourage and solicit feedback from the St. Albert PC Constituency Board and the citizens of St. Albert on issues and legislation that matter most to Albertans and St. Albert. My time to engage St. Albert's young and old to get involved with their community. In the past few months, I've talked with a number of people about politics in the community. A lot of people about politics in the community. It's not uncommon to hear people express frustration with the political process, but I am yet to meet anyone who doesn't care passionately about their community. My job as your representative for St. Albert will be to cut through the process, create transparency and openness, and have a frank and honest relationship with every constituent in St. Albert. When it comes to the issues facing St. Albert and Alberta, my focus always comes first to education. I believe that there is no better investment of public funds than in learning. Without a skilled and educated workforce, Alberta and St. Albert will not attract the cutting-edge companies to carry out the research and development, much less find the minds to run those companies. We need outstanding schools and post-secondary institutions. What this means for St. Albert is a renewed commitment to class sizes and a commitment to a 3-year funding cycle for administrators. The number one topic of discussion in the past PC leadership was healthcare. Thankfully, Albertans can expect excellent healthcare for acute or trauma health needs. If you have a stroke or a heart attack, you will get excellent and timely care. I believe everyone understands that our current challenge is about access for chronic issues and wait times in emergency. My wife worked as a frontline emergency room nurse for 15 years. I understand at a personal level the frustrations that patients and healthcare providers share. I support the Premier's initiative for family care clinics across the province, staffed by multidisciplinary healthcare professionals. That means nurses, physiotherapists, x-ray techs, and pharmacists who will ease doctors' workloads, create better access for Albertans, and offload pressure on our ERs. I've also talked to a number of doctors here in St. Albert, and what they want and what I believe we need is not the one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare, but a focus on how our hospital here in St. Albert can best deliver quality healthcare to the citizens of St. Albert. The economy. All economic indicators look very promising for Alberta in the immediate future. As a businessman, I'm a strong proponent of diversifying our markets for energy. I believe that once we establish energy trade in Asia and in China, we will be able to build trade partnerships for our agri-industries, our forestry industries, and our technology industries. With that said, we must be responsible and vigilant stewards of our environment. Our targets must be aimed at zero environmental impact for pipeline and energy-related industry. We must be stringent and serious about energy and its environmental impact. I'm a marketer. We need to promote and enforce the highest environmental standards so we can promote our Alberta energy as the cleanest in the world, all the while ensuring that future generations can expect to enjoy the natural beauty of our remarkable province. On a local level, my concerns turn to seniors. In my eyes, the issue of seniors is all about dignity. We must acknowledge that our seniors are the people who help build St. Albert and Alberta. I support the latest conversations regarding the deferral of residential taxes for seniors. We need to acknowledge the increased challenges seniors face with the rising costs and fixed incomes. We must ensure that seniors have a choice to choose from a wide variety of safe, comfortable accommodations that suit their incomes, lifestyles, and family structures. There are so many issues that impact St. Albert and Alberta. And I would work hard as your MLA to make sure that those issues are addressed with sincerity, with hard work, with integrity, our St. Albert values. As your candidate for St. Albert's PC party, you have my commitment that I will work hard and openly with all St. Albertans to ensure that St. Albert is the best place to live in the best province in Canada. Thank you.